Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Pecco Bagnaia reclaimed momentum at Motegi, taking pole and sprint victory after a run of frustrating weekends. The Misano test changes, a set of parts trialed by Ducati and now fitted to both factory machines, appear to have helped restore his confidence. Bagnaia described the result as liberation, technical tweaks that worked here, and the psychological relief of feeling competitive again. Ducati Corse General Manager Gigi Dall'Igna hailed a morale-boosting 1-2 in the Motegi Sprint after a difficult run for Francesco Bagnaia. Speaking to Sky Sport Italia, Dall'Igna framed the result as the payoff for intensive work and testing, and a timely confidence injection for a rider who has struggled in recent months. Marquez cut a measured figure after finishing second in the Motegi Sprint, insisting the title, not individual wins, is the weekend's priority. The Ducati rider admitted the weight of a possible championship close is tangible, but argued the season is a marathon, results are cumulative, and the battle with Francesco Bagnaia has been ongoing all year. Aprilia CEO Massimo Rivola has called Jorge Martin's Turn 1 collision with teammate Marco Bezzecchi at the Motegi Sprint a serious misjudgment, after the incident left Martin with a displaced fracture and ruled him out of Sunday's Grand Prix. The crash interrupted a chaotic start sequence and forced the team to regroup quickly. Rivola praised the escape of Bezzecchi, but warned the error carried heavy consequences for the squad. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. The sprint win felt like more than a points haul for Bagnaia. It was evidence that the work done since Misano can produce tangible gains. Starting from the front, he pushed hard, found rhythm and crossed the line in a performance he called a huge relief after one of the toughest stretches of his career. This weekend I felt good with the bike from Misano, the pole was perfect, and the race too. A single strong weekend doesn't erase months of struggle, but it does reset morale, both for rider and locker room. Ducati didn't revert to an old chassis. Instead, they introduced components that had been shelved or refined at Misano. Bagnaia emphasized nuance. We haven't gone back. We've changed parts that hadn't worked in other situations, but here they did. He confirmed those are the same components Marquez runs, underlining parity in equipment. Technical parity undermines claims of hidden advantages and frames the improvement as an engineering fit, not favoritism. Beyond hardware, the sprint highlighted the mental component. Winning restored Bagnaia's belief in his own speed and judgment, something he said he never stopped fighting for. The psychology of feeling liberated often translates into cleaner lines and better tire management. Being able to push again is a huge relief, not just for the result, but for myself. Confidence can be incremental. One weekend can catalyze several. Bagnaia tempered celebration with caution. He flagged tire wear and the Grand Prix length as variables that could blunt the sprint's gains. Tactical starts and management will be key if he wants a top 5 finish on Sunday. He set a pragmatic target: consolidate, manage tires and avoid overstretching early. This measured approach reduces the risk of reversing progress with overambition. With several races left, Motegi's result is a timely reminder that development and adaptation can change narratives. If the parts translate across circuits, and if Bagnaia converts confidence into consistency, Ducati could regain a two-rider development push. He hopes Indonesia will be another test of the recovery, but remains focused lap by lap. One weekend won't rewrite the season, but it can start a comeback. Pecco Bagnaia's Motegi Sprint was less an isolated triumph and more a proof of concept, targeted parts plus renewed belief. By stressing that the components now under his bike are identical to Marquez's, he undercuts talk of special treatment and points to engineering fit as the driver of change. The challenge now is to translate Saturday's liberation into Sunday consistency, and to make this technical step a foundation, not a flash in the pan. Dall'Igna analyzes Bagnaia's victory. We managed to find the thread again, albeit a little late. Dall'Igna was visibly pleased but measured. He celebrated the 1-2 as a concrete sign the team's corrective path is working while warning that the job is not done. It's been a fantastic 1-2. I'm really happy for Pecco and his team, because these have been complicated, difficult months. The tone was upbeat but cautious, a victory to digest, not a problem solved. The boss singled out recent tests, especially at Misano, as pivotal. Dall'Igna credits focused test work for identifying small, cumulative fixes that improved Bagnaia's feeling. He stressed that the team worked very well in testing and is now seeing the fruits of that labor. Incremental gains in setup can flip a rider's confidence. Dall'Igna's remarks confirmed that approach. For Bagnaia, the sprint result is both vindication and reminder. Progress came, but perhaps later than ideal. Dall'Igna acknowledged the emotional weight of recent weeks and the boost today provides. We've managed to find the common thread again, albeit a little late, but we're satisfied. Restoring feeling is as much psychological as technical, and victories accelerate that healing. Dall'Igna emphasized that the success was collective. Engineers, mechanics and riders aligned during the test program found the right direction. Celebration is deserved, he said, but discipline must continue. When a factory can convert test gains into race results quickly, it signals robust development processes. The Ducati chief urged celebration but urged focus on consistency. With rivals close and the season still hot, today's result is a platform rather than a finish line. Enjoy the victory now, tomorrow the work of consolidation resumes. The practical takeaway: replicate the setup and mindset that worked at Motegi while guarding against overreaction. Gigi Dall'Igna framed Motegi's 1-2 as reassurance after hard weeks, not a miracle cure, but evidence that targeted testing and patient engineering can restore a champion's confidence. For Bagnaia and Ducati, the result is a welcome reset, one that must be converted into repeated performance to truly close the chapter on recent struggles. Marquez was clear: the objective this weekend is the crown, not a single victory. He downplayed theatrics and concentrated on doing what's necessary across the whole weekend to secure the points he needs. The important thing is the title. I don't remember what happened in 2016, 2017 or 2018. The important thing is to win it. The emphasis on process over moment highlights a veteran approach. Manage risks, prioritize scoring, keep the bigger picture in mind. The prospect of clinching another world championship is making Marquez more reflective. He acknowledged a natural extra tension, but framed it as manageable and human. He felt a little more tense than usual, but treated that as part of the job: observe, adapt, then ride. Pressure can tighten or focus a rider. Marquez's language suggests he hopes it sharpens rather than distracts. In the sprint, Marquez chose caution early, accepting lost positions to preserve composure and find the rhythm. Once settled, he produced the fastest pace. That pattern underlines his race management priorities. Now he's chasing a championship rather than singular sprint glory. He was conservative on the opening lap, struggled initially with braking battles, then let go as the race settled. That discipline, sacrificing a few early positions to avoid mistakes, is classic championship riding. Questions about affecting his brother Alex's bid were met with pragmatic empathy. Mark wants Alex to have his race and focus on consolidating second in the standings. Sibling rivalry matters on track, but not at the cost of team or family. He hopes Alex concentrates on his own race and maximizing points rather than being distracted by external narratives. The Marquez brothers at the sharp end adds emotional texture to the title fight, but Mark's public stance is to separate family from tactical championship thinking. Mark downplayed the headline of the sprint result. The season is long and his duel with Bagnaia has been continuous. One weekend, one sprint, doesn't rewrite the bigger championship ledger. I've been competing with Pecco all year. There are 22 races in a championship. It's a reminder that titles are earned over dozens of rounds. Consistency, not isolated wins, decides outcomes. Marc Marquez's Motegi Sprint remarks blended candid pressure with steady perspective. He admitted the extra weight of a close-to-crowning weekend, defended a cautious race approach, and refused to let single results overstate the season-long duel with Bagnaia. With the championship in sight, his message was simple: focus, manage, and complete the job. The sprint headlines matter less than the final tally. Rivella did not mince words about what happened at the start. He described Martin's move as a clear braking error that should not have occurred, and stressed the human cost when judgment lapses at race speed. A serious misjudgment under braking by Jorge unfortunately caused a heavy crash for both of them. In a paddock where split-second decisions decide outcomes, the team principal's public rebuke is as much about responsibility as it is about protecting team cohesion. Martin, starting 17th after a difficult qualifying, tried to make ground off the line. He ran wide on the brakes into turn 1, lost the bike and collided with Bezzecchi, who was caught in the melee. The impact also scattered following riders and reshuffled the sprint. He noted both starters did not start from the grid positions they deserved, suggesting desperation to recover places contributed to the error. Turn 1 at Motegi is unforgiving at the sprint launch. With many riders funneling in, any misjudged braking can have amplified consequences. The immediate fallout was stark. Martin suffered a displaced fracture and will return to Spain for surgery, ending his Motegi weekend and putting another medical setback into a season already interrupted by injury. Bezzecchi escaped the worst with a leg contusion. Rivella expressed sympathy for Martin and relief that the outcome was not worse for his teammate. He called the team lucky. Only one rider was injured and praised medical response, while offering support to Martin ahead of surgery. Motorsports brutality is clinical. Rivella's reaction balanced concern for his riders with the practical reality of getting the team back on track. The double DNF hit Aprilia's constructors fight hard. With KTM's Pedro Acosta third in the sprint, Aprilia's advantage in the battle for second in the standings narrowed to 18 points heading into Sunday. That swing could prove decisive as the season winds down. Losing a factory rider mid-weekend hurts more than just the tally. It disrupts data collection, setup work and morale at a pivotal stage of the championship. Rivella made clear work would continue. Aprilia Racing vowed to press on and give Bezzecchi the best possible package for Sunday despite his knocks, while the organization will support Martin through surgery and recovery. The leadership tone was pragmatic: sympathize, repair, refocus. He underlined the team will do everything possible to give Bezzecchi the best bike and keep fighting in the championship. How quickly Aprilia can steady itself, on both human and technical fronts, will determine whether the team sustains its fight with KTM for a runners-up finish.